Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to today's presentation sponsored by the Society of Decision Professionals, which is entitled Portfolio and Decision Analysis and the Fight Against Antimicrobial Resistance. This presentation is an extended version of one of the Best of DAG's presentations from this year's conference held in April in Huntington Beach that Jay just mentioned. I would now like to introduce you to the speakers you will be hearing from today. Our featured speaker for today is John Maurer. John works in Pfizer's Portfolio and Decision Analysis Group. He has 18 years of industry experience at Pfizer and Bristol Myers Squibb. Before joining the pharmaceutical industry, he practiced pharmacy at Beth Israel Medical Center. John, welcome to today's Learning Exchange.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Great. Our moderator for today's presentation is Elaine Coe. Elaine holds a director position at the Portfolio and Decision Analysis Group within Pfizer. She has over 15 years of experience in applying decision analysis to investment decision-making under uncertainties. Elaine, welcome to today's Learning Exchange.
Thank you, Bryce.
Elaine will facilitate your questions throughout the presentation and raise some to our speaker to address live during and at the end of the webinar. And now, without any further delay, I'd like to turn today's presentation over to our featured speaker, John Maurer. John, you have the floor.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for joining. I chose this case to present in the case studies section of the DAG conference because it was unusual. It didn't start out that way. It started out like a fairly typical project, but it definitely evolved into something out of the ordinary. It began when I was working with the team preparing for the next big decision in the R&D process. And as you can imagine, when asking for a very large commitment of resources, management will demand that the team has examined its options and done its diligence, and they'd want to know if the team's putting its best foot forward. This team could find no options that were economically viable. Struggle as we did, I often heard the team's refrain, if only we could, but we can't. So I asked the question, well, what if we could? And as we explored those possibilities, what emerged was something that was economically viable and quite compelling. So this is the story of how that evolved into something bigger than just what was going on at the team level.